Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the House of Dragon Season 2 episode, or spoilers review, Episode 2. I am the Clown Prince of Hands, Trask Down. I'm joined by
I'm the Steel Fist,
a
Kirkland
lot of,
Patzer.
a lot of hand action this episode,
Yeah,
apparently,
a
So,
lot of handies.
the background's you spoiled it now, it's Oppenheimer, but because it's just like fire, and we still put a House of the Dragon one there, so it's like,
The
you
hat. The hat is.
if you took out Oppenheimer, you could say, "Oh, it's just the dragons," but we'll do that next episode.
Yeah,
We're all
okay.
busy this weekend, but yes, it is just myself and Kirkland Patzer. Taylor has graciously bowed out because he can't watch it until much later. So we should get. Well, no, I think next week you'll be gone, so it's not going to be. Let's see. There's that one. It's not going to be till 2 weeks from now. I think maybe that all three of us are on House of the Dragon.
I'm gone next week.
You're camping. You're just talking about this.
Yeah, but yeah. Well,
You're back to Monday.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, okay. You got
Literally
me.
off cast, ladies and gentlemen. So, I'm making my list. I got camping. I see it on the calendar here. That
It's just so I'm so not used. Like I know it's Sunday today, but I'm just so not
Yeah.
used to reviewing things on Sunday. It's been a hot
Yeah.
minute, so I just in my mind I assumed it was like during the week, even though
yeah.
today
You're
is
camping
Sunday.
28th of July 1st at Fintry Campground, campsite A. No.
Yeah, go there. I might be there.
yeah. So, so I guess in a couple weeks, I'll be the consistent one, which is funny because I feel like with the first House of Dragon, I missed a lot of those until like the back half. That's just what
True.
happens. So with the like you said, it's the Sunday reviews. Those really mess us up because someone's away, family's in town. But either way, you'll be here, and then hopefully let me jump into the future here before we get in the show. I'm trying to see where the finale is. Oh God, August long too. Yeah, we're all here. It looks like, but something always happens, during the holidays, so you never know. But hopefully for the finale, we'll all be here. But yes, we're going to talk about this episode. Subscribe as usual. Right now, we're talking about review season, House of Dragon, Acolyte, and The Boys. So lots of stuff going on right now, and we're reviewing Alien as well. And we'll get to that later about where you can find those episodes early. But yeah, we're reviewing those major three shows, and it's pretty busy right now. But at least it's a fun time. And then after, when these shows end, we go into Batman, Cape Crusader, and Rings of Power. So we end off. But at least Batman's a binge, and I think it's going to be we haven't made a plan for that. We should probably talk about that. So
Like for you said,
Cape
like
Crusader.
not Penguin. You're not talking about Penguin.
Wait, that's in September too.
Yeah.
Jeez,
I kind of forgot about it
Louise.
till I got the ad like on Crave, and that I love that trailer. I'm so hyped for that show. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, so we got lots of TV shows reviews, lots of movie reviews. So, yes, Mr. Patzer, what did you think about episode 1? Briefly, you don't need to give us the hour review, but briefly, what do you think about episode 1, and then episode 2, and just your overall thoughts on the season so far?
I mean, yeah, the season so far, it's basically episode 1 and 2. So I thought the first episode, I thought it was really good. I didn't watch it until today, and just the word through the grapevine was not a lot happened, but like a good enough episode, and it's definitely like a setup. I still think that a lot does happen in it, and so because
Absolutely,
I
think a lot happens.
was told those things, I like had my expectations pretty low. But I thought it did a good job at kind of reigniting that fire that was lit at the end of last season of just the big tensions amongst the families, and obviously losing Rhaenyra's son right at the end for that cliffhanger. I thought it was good picking up the pieces, as well as just for people like me that didn't rewatch season 1. Like I thought they did a good job at like, oh yeah, this person is related to this person, and like just it's not like we're having to catch up on a lot of seasons to know what's going on here, but they did a good enough job in the first episode, I thought. And yeah, like I was definitely hyped going into episode 2, so I'm glad I didn't have to wait a whole week for that. And I thought this second episode was definitely a step up from the first one, just because of like stuff's actually happening now, and dramas amongst like individual parties. It's the High Towers versus the Targaryens, but like just the inner turmoils that are going on is definitely interesting. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's just a good start to the season so far, and I'm expecting some character deaths, hopefully in the next episode or two, and character deaths that I've been maybe waiting for certain characters that I like the performance of them. I like how they're written, but it's just, it's Game of Thrones always had these characters. You're just like, I can't wait to see this guy's just downfall.
Really? You think some of those characters could be going the next couple weeks?
I
know who
think
you're
some of the
talking about,
family, Yeah, like some of the high tower type people, I definitely
Mm,
think maybe a certain Kingsguard guy. I think he's gonna meet his end. In
really?
this season for sure.
This
I don't
season?
know. I'd be surprised if it didn't. At least with kind of the overall vibe that I'm getting. But
Yeah, I
yeah.
guess. It's tough. You always want to keep those hated characters around, though, you know? And I feel
But
like
then they just
everybody.
introduce a new like hated
Yeah, I
character.
know.
So like I feel like Game of Thrones is good with that, where they always have someone for you to hate.
Yeah.
And right now it feels like I have multiple to hate. So I don't think I'm gonna be seeing them all die. I'm sure there's gonna be some beloved characters that get killed or whatnot.
Yeah.
That's true fashion to the show. But yeah, no, it's really good. I think it's like on par so far with just how I was feeling at various stages of season one. And it was funny when I started this, I didn't realize that I had started season one, episode one. So
Oh,
it was
nice.
like young Rhaenyra, and I'm like, oh
Oh,
wow,
flashback.
they brought back Millie. That's awesome. And like, I wonder how much she's gonna be in this. And then it like kept going on, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is a little bit precarious. So yeah, I really only like 5 minutes in, but still, it was a strange moment.
I feel like I could be wrong. People, if there's anybody watching the chat, let me know. I feel like there was rumors of like young Alicent, young Rhaenyra, and Viserys having like screen time in the show, like a flashback per se, because I think they were listed somewhere in casting. But sometimes that's
Okay,
a mistake. But I'd be down for that, as we've said before. They
yeah,
with
they're
the young,
great.
yeah, the young cast we kind of missed out. Maybe there'll be some reason to bring them back, but
The last 5 episodes is just the young characters.
they
They do this like
reverse
weird
it.
swap.
Yeah, like remember that time we spent a summer together, Allison, when when they're doing that. So I apologize for my young daughter who's transitioning from going to the bathtub to downstairs, but she'll be out here in a second. But yeah, no, I'm in. I had no really cons of the first episode, if I recall. They were cons. I didn't have anything massive, and I think I'm kind of the same thing here. I was opposite where I still think lots happened. Like the war started last week, you know, like that was the whole. Like to me, it's like you got Allison and Cole getting together. You got to see the king do his kingly things. You got to see the war start. You see some more stuff going on with Rhaenyra. I think Rhaenyra did take a little bit of the backseat last stuff episode, but now she's not forefront yet. I'm waiting. I'm waiting to see Rhaenyra step up to be kind of the. She doesn't have to be the main character, but one of the. She is a main character still, but I feel like even this week there's a lot of things happening around her. Even
Hmm.
though I would argue that it's not a spoiler, like her and Damien have a scene, and that I think is probably the best scene of the episode. I guess I could say the season, but like it's only 2 episodes. But I think that was really great, and yeah, I think there's a lot of cool ways they're going. The show remains unpredictable because there's a couple things that I thought I'd figured out, and then they took me for a loop. Two in particular that I thought, and two like big things, but then just even in particular like one character, which I'm not sure if you listen. Did you listen to review last week?
No, I didn't.
Oh well, you know, just
Maybe after
we work
this.
so hard. Yeah, no, because then I can repeat it. There's just certain things that they're doing with the King character, Aegon, that I did not expect. You know, and I guess it's not. We're 2 weeks in now, so it's not like a spoiler. But I am greatly appreciated that they did not just make him Joffrey 2.0. There is some moments, but there's a lot of things that they make that character. I'm not saying, oh, he's in one of my top favorite characters now. No, it's still like Rhaenyra, Daemon, and Aemon because I fucking love Aemon, especially this episode. Again, fucking crave thumbnail. He's the thumbnail so that we're gonna get some good Aemon stuff. You got just some. So we got some development at least, but just one thing in the episode. But I'm excited to see him pop off eventually this season. But yeah, there's things that so far again where I think sometimes the show's predictable, but in the best way because you like it's because like oh the story should go one or two ways and it goes that way. You're like good, like there is levels of unpredictability, and I think they do that. Like for example, like the last 5 minutes, I thought that whole situation was going to go completely different and it didn't. So I think like they do a good job of being unpredictable where they can and then predictable when they need to be, but it's usually like the good story, great choice. Like, oh yeah, it should be predictable because this should be the story, the way it goes. So yeah, I have no major cons right now. I'm excited to see where it goes. I guess I could also say that, like Otto Hightower, maybe that would rival the scene that Rhaenyra and Damon had. He had a really great scene. I just love. I said to Emily after this episode, he needs to do some comedies. He had some great comedic time and scenes that aren't comedic, but just like his facial expressions. So I'm excited to talk about those scenes. But yeah, right now there's nothing major, and if it is, it'd be like point here, point there, but nothing nothing huge, and it continues to be just one of this was 70 minutes, but it just flies by. Just
Yeah.
flies right by. It's not a drag. Where there's sometimes you're watching shows that are 30 minutes, you're like, oh boy, we're still going a little bit here. So, anything else non spoiler?
I'll just shout out like the quality of the costumes and the sets and everything. It's nothing like out of the ordinary what to expect from Game of
Yeah, they
Thrones and
always
House of the Dragon, but
deliver.
like just because I hadn't rewatched season 1, like start of
Yeah.
episode 1, I was just like, "Oh my god. Yeah, we're back in Westeros, baby. The dragons look gorgeous. Just all the costumes and everything. It's great to just be back in this world again."
Mm-hmm. Well, we're gonna take a little break here, and then we're gonna get into spoilers. If you've not seen the episode, you can bow out, but I'm sure you have. So we'll be right back and going full deep into spoilers. And we are back. So before we get into spoilers review, just a shout out. Everything you need to know is down below the Patreon. And we just talked about Alien. Right now, you can get the Alien 3 and 2 retro early. And then this week, we're recording 4. So you got those. Soon we'll be doing originals. And then, Bread and Butter. Those are exclusive shows. So yeah, head over to Patreon. We are independent content creators. So we would very much appreciate the support. There's a bunch of different deers. There's no deers on Patreon, but there is a lot of different
There's a deer
tiers.
somewhere.
There will be a deer one day, but not in the way you think. Maybe if you join Patreon, you'll get a tease of it. But right now, yeah, ad-free episodes for every episode we do, early episodes, exclusive episodes, lots of good stuff there. So yeah, we're doing Alien right now, and then in the fall we'll be re-recording or we're recording early our other retros for next year. So there's some fun stuff going on. So head over there. That's the best way to support us. And also, Geek First Day is happening August 3rd. We're doing a 9-hour stream. No, yeah, 9 hour. I didn't even think about that, man. We're doing a 9-hour stream for our 9th anniversary. Duh, have I not
Like it was
promoted that
planned.
yet? Yeah, like it was, of course. I'm never gonna say it was never planned again, but we're doing lots of different events. There's going to be tomorrow a tweet and a Facebook post that have the pin things, but it's going to be our Golden Geeks we're doing for 2012, Geek Versus, which is taking fictional characters and put them Deadliest Warrior. We got some trivia. Me and Kirkland, no, not me and Kirkland, Taylor. I want to kick Taylor's ass. Me and Taylor are having a wrestling match. So yeah, lots of good stuff there. And it's a stream that's going 9 hours, but if you join Patreon or up your tier, we will go longer and talk about the stretch goals. And then you get to support us for all the content we do next year. So we appreciate that. And just come have some fun. If you can't, come share it, come like. It's going to be a good day of just kind of a mini extra life, in a way where we're going to be together for 9 hours. So it should be a good time. I wanted to start with Damon and Rhaenyra. So I got 2 questions for you, and this will transition to talking to them. One, because we didn't see it, do you think Damon is telling the truth that he did not tell them to take anybody? When she says like, if they were not to find Aemon, what was your instructions? And he said, well, I gave them no instructions. So do you think, one, that's true, and then 2, where do you think he's going? Because he went on the dragon. No one knows.
Yeah, I think he was telling the truth with that. I think there was like the way that it went. I don't think he was entirely upset about the way that it happened, just because he's like, fuck those guys no matter what.
Yeah.
I don't think he specifically said like, if you don't find Aemon, just take another young blonde boy.
Kill them all.
Yeah. It definitely seemed like the rat catcher and the murderer guy were just like, oh, okay, well, this is like the next best thing. Maybe we'll get some sort of reward for it. That's at least how I took it. And for where he's going, I don't know. I was trying to remember of like where his bases were. Thinking back into season 1, he doesn't really like. Is there like a particular home base that he has to just fly off to? I feel like not really anymore since the war started.
I
right?
don't think so, because when he was in King's Landing, he always go to the brothel house, so he'd go there. Because it's like the season 1 is 10 episodes, but I feel like he was divided into 3 sections where he was at the brothel house for a while, and then he had a second wife, or his first wife, that I don't know if you remember, she like fell off a horse, but he pretty much killed her, like he forced that. So he had that area, and then it was in Dragonstone when he married like not Viserys, what is the Valerians. And then, so it's kind of been that where it was the brothel, the first wife's place, and then Dragonstone. So I'm sure Damon's a guy that has many places to hang out for and go. But yeah, there's not like this is Damon's home and here's his butler and everything like that,
Yeah, because what was that place they were talking about in the Riverlands? That it's kind of like the main tactical objective. Like the High Towers were talking about it.
Yeah.
Aemon was talking, or not Aemon. Who's the eye patch guy's name?
Aemon, it
Aegon.
was no Aemon. That's
Aemon.
yeah. Aegon's the king. Aemon
Okay, I was
is
mixing
the
them up.
yeah. Yeah.
It's gonna take me a couple episodes to get used to these names again.
Yeah.
All the A's and the.
I rewatched the season, so I'm ready to
There
go.
you go.
Here.
You're
But
fresh.
you think he's going there? Because the last
Well,
thing he
like-
said, he's like, "I'm gonna go fight in your honor." But like,
Yeah.
now everyone with the Valerian king was like, "Well, we don't really know where he's going when they're in bed, right?" So it's like maybe he'll still show. Maybe it's just he is supposed to show up there, but everyone's questioning if he's actually gonna go there now. Maybe he's just gonna. They think he's just gonna fuck off.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't expect him to be right back with Rhaenyra for a little
No.
bit, just with how intense that departure was. But like, I don't think he's going rogue. He's definitely not going to like the high towers or anything like that. So it's weird because he is someone that, although is striving for his own goals, I feel like still like he has to side with someone. Like I don't think he has enough power to just be his own like third faction. So
What if he jumped ship? He's like, these kids are still my nieces and nephews. Rhaenyra made me kill your kid. I didn't do that. He could. I don't think he will, but
I don't think he would.
No.
Is it possible he goes to the Valyrian people and like
no,
does
they're
he have
there at
any?
Dragonstone.
Were they at Dragonstone? No,
Yeah,
I
or
thought they were
they're-
back with the.
But they're with Rhaenyra's camp though, so it's like if you were with them, it would still be with like you're accounted for, right? Because he was married to one of their daughters, and his kids are Valerians.
Yeah.
So I think he's just like he's just gonna walk there, or fly the earth for a little bit,
All right,
So
brothel house. Then that's my final
that's
bet.
just back to King's Landing. Like, didn't you have the king's son killed?
He's
Like,
gonna
I don't
see
know.
fucking Aemon or whatever the. fuck
That's
the
when we
guy's
get the
name
fight finally, them naked.
is. Like the Northman fight, but in the brothel.
Yeah, or Borat when they're just like slapping each other and stuff. That would be so good. I can't wait to get to Eamon. But so when we see him next, do you think it's gonna be him doing his own selfish stuff, or do you think it's gonna be maybe he's because there's a lot Rhaenyra threw a lot of questions at him of like his loyalty because bad guy didn't answer when he's like, oh, do you think I should be the true just queen? My boy didn't answer here. He just decided to pimp off. He kept saying like he supported her and all this stuff, but at the same time he would never really relent of like he still does feel like he should have been the king, and I felt like he was over that. But I don't know if you remember this, the finale of last season, he like choked her in one scene, so we can see where I think for a little bit he was fine, and then now he's starting to break, and there's that power hunger thing. But do you think we'll get him doing selfish stuff, or do you think he's maybe going to try to maybe he'll have like not a second thought, but just go, okay, whether I told him to kill that kid or not, I'm going to do something that shows Rhaenyra I am with her. Because I really don't know. It could go either way. I'm kind of hoping it's that, but I try to remind myself that, especially watching season 1, like so many times people are like, Damon's a terrible person. I think it's just because I love Matt Smith in this role. It's like, oh, I want him to be with Rhaenyra, but it's like, no, I think this guy's going to not turn at some point, but not. She said she can't even trust him, right? So I really don't know which way he's going to go.
I think he's gonna be supportive of like going the path of trying to gain her trust, even if he still has his own little beguilements going on, his own little susseries, his own personal motivations. I think he's gonna at least make an effort. Mostly because that's my want. I want them to side by side fly into King's Landing and just burn the fucking place down. I do want that climactic moment, but I don't know. It also seems that like although he has done sketchy stuff in the past, it still feels like by the end of that last season, it was like he showed his cards that he was on Rhaenyra's side at least for the war effort. Maybe it's one of those things where they just have a greater threat right now. So like let's focus on the greater threat before going and like trying to overthrow Rhaenyra or whatever he's trying to do. I think it'll be something along the lines of next time we see him, he's going to be trying to win Rhaenyra's faith back.
I caught most of it. I heard
okay,
yeah. Yeah, so we'll see. It's just, I would say he will do something, but now it's like, is he going to do something to gain Rhaenyra's trust, but is it going to be something where he's just has some other scheme behind her back? I don't know, because this is a man that has killed one of his former wives. That's the tough thing, right? And like, I think he loves this one the most, but just, I really don't know. Do you think we see him next week, or do you think he's maybe missing him longer? I think he's not even going to be on next week.
I think we'll see him next week. I could see it like, I don't know, last 10, 15 minutes of the episode, we kind of see where he's at. And like, see something on to lead into like the next episode, so we just know kind of where his trajectory is. Um,
Just go to King's Landing like Daenerys and just fucking destroy it. They retcon everything that happened.
yeah, I was excited when he was going back there with the to like hire like the rat catcher guy. I
Yeah.
thought he was gonna be doing some like fucking cloak and dagger stuff, like setting up
Well, he
shop
kind of
somewhere.
was. He was doing the cloak part.
Yeah, true. He didn't really have a
Just-
dagger.
He paid someone else to do the dagger, and it didn't go. It
I
didn't
thought he
go
was just gonna
well.
be spending more time maybe like in there. I thought that would be
Mhm.
exciting, just kind of under their noses. But that is a pretty risky position. It's not like
Yeah.
they don't
If he-
stand out, right, with the hair.
Yeah, especially daytime hits. That sun's gonna light it up.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's a guy. I feel like there's some people like the way I can't remember her name, but the lady that did run the brothel, like how they caught her. I feel like there's some people they'll catch. Even the person that killed the king's son, they'll catch and want to question. I feel like Damon's the type of guy that's like they're gonna kill on sight. You know, like there's not gonna be like we should question him and get like because even though I think he's a little iffy with Rhaenyra, I don't think he would give up Rhaenyra's plans and strategies, all this. So
Yeah.
I think they would just kill Damon if he filmed. So I understood that, but to go to that point of when he was there last week, I hope they never answer what he said for even us as the viewers to the guys. If he said, "Hey, I like just kill Aemon and get out of there," or if you can't kill Aemon, kill one of them. I would love it that we'd never know, because I think then that kind of puts us in Rhaenyra's shoes where because he did. That's one thing he did say. He said twice that he didn't do that. He said that he made a bounty for Aemon, and then when they asked, when Rhaenyra asked what would happen after, he just said they didn't talk about that, which that is the shady part. We go, oh, why wouldn't you talk about that, right? But I guess maybe that could have just been the end of the conversation, go find him, break. But he did say when she asked, so you like ordered the death of the child, he said no, and then at the end of the conversation, he doubled down and said it was a mistake. So he's going by that's not was his plan. Again, with Damon's background, we don't know how much we can really trust that. He's a guy that's always kind of shifty, but according from his base, he said no. So and she said she can't trust him. So I'm kind of hoping they never tell us, and we just will always kind of wonder because I feel like if they tell us one way or another, if they tell us we didn't do it, then right away you kind of feel like, okay, we can trust them. And if they don't, then I feel like that almost it kind of almost makes it too much foreshadowing that he's going to do another thing in the future to screw over Rhaenyra, right? So I hope it's something that's kind of, and maybe if it's revealed like seasons later or a final season, like in an argument or something, right? Or maybe it's tough because I could see him being, if they ever get back with the High Towers, I could see them in an argument and he's going to just say like, oh, and I had your grandchild killed. Like that's the tough thing with Daemon. He might just want to flex a little bit, right? So
Yeah. But like if
I
it does
really
come to that, I would like it to also be maybe he's lying. Like maybe it's
Yeah.
just a big question mark. That's why I hope that is never answered, because it's just to us the viewers, it's like we can't even trust this guy. Like he is so
Yes.
unreliable, let alone
Yeah.
the characters that are around him. And I think that's just a quality that makes him entertaining to watch. And man, I forgot how good Matt Smith is in this role.
Yeah.
He's
He's so good.
he's so fun to watch.
Yeah. And speaking, because I want to go to him next, because he only got one scene. So Aemon, the guy he wanted to kill, but it didn't go that route. So that's what I love. They're like 1B, 1A to the character, as far as they are just like miniature versions of each other in a certain way. And that's what Damon would do too. And he would feel like in the same episode last season when young Rhaenyra approached him and he couldn't go through with it, he went right to the brothel house. And I feel like Aemon's that same type of guy that anytime now he has like an issue, he's like, well, I'm just gonna go like, and even there he's not there, like I'm sure they had sex, but it doesn't even seem like he's there for the sex. He just wants to be there, whether to talk to someone or console someone, and he's wrapped up like little baby Voldemort there. Just
He does look like Baby Voldemort. That's exactly what I thought.
yeah. And and I love that he took pride. He's like, oh, he couldn't even do it himself. He had to have me killed in his sleep. So I cannot wait for that showdown. What are you feeling about Aemon so far?
Yeah, this is it's funny how I was saying certain characters that I'm excited to see their demise, and some are my most hated character. And I think at one point Aemon maybe was my least favorite character, or not my least favorite character, my most hated character, and he's definitely not anymore. But I am still just so excited to see him clashing with certain members of Rhaenyra's clan and household. He's just, especially with how much how much this war has kind of been revolved around him and his actions, and not necessarily him solely, but just actions around him. I don't know. He just feels like a main orchestrator of this big feud, and yeah, I really really like this scene because it showed a different side of him that we had seen in the past. Whereas normally he seems very, shoulders out, confident, and just talking like a, I don't know, silver tongued devil at times. It just seems like he always has a lot of confidence and what he's saying. And here he just like you said, baby Voldemort, naked fetal position on this whore's lap, just basically in tears, crying about his regrets. So I liked how just there's a little bit more levels to the character that was shown here, because we didn't really get any of this in last season. I wouldn't count even like the little versions of themselves, like the first 5 episodes, because like they're their kids. I feel like after he loses his eye and we see him older with the big scar, like he is just this like evil pirate type character. But yeah, no, I really like that moment shown there to just flex him out a little bit and show him he's more than what's been shown so far.
And I feel like I don't know if they did this on purpose, but I think first of all, he's like a tall guy, this actor, right? And I feel like not that they were putting him in big clothing to like look like, I don't know, like the kids in Little Rascals when they go on each other's like shoulders, but I felt like they were dressing him because he's a very like slender guy and he's very toned, but I feel like the show have dressed him to look bigger than that. So that's where I think this almost did it too, where it shows like I feel like Matt Smith looks bigger than him, but not when they're together. Like when they're standing together, he's always has like this cape and stuff, and you're always looking at the eye patch too. But did you think last week when you were watching, or the episode when you watched it, did you think at any point they were gonna kill him off?
Oh, like in that moment when they're
Yeah.
sneaking up? No, I didn't. You had mentioned in the spoiler free section that there was a couple moments when you thought, like, you predicted what was going to happen, and then it kind of switched you around. And that happened to me twice in this episode. One being when the rat catchers were going. I 100% thought that the main rat catcher was just going to be working for Eamon, and then Eamon was going to be just like
Oh,
standing there
okay.
and like just murders the guy,
I
because it's
thought.
just.
Oh, go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry.
No, you go. You go.
I was gonna say, I feel like moments like that happen in the past where, especially
Yeah.
so far in this show and season, like they're kind of, yeah, people have questionable moral lines, but I feel like we're still supposed to be rooting for the Targaryens. Like it's kind of Rhaenyra's show, although we have like Alicent and the High Towers. I just feel like they've done a lot more evil acts than
Yeah.
what Rhaenyra's done.
Plus,
Not
Sir
saying that.
Christian Cole, you can't root for anybody with that has that guy on the team. You know.
No, exactly. That's fuck that guy. But just in the past when we're like rooting for our heroes and it feels like we're getting to like a resolution, like, oh my god, they're gonna do it. That's when they just have like a red wedding event, or like Eddard Stark just loses his head.
Yeah.
Like the Game of Thrones and House of Dragon just does this. So I was a little bit on edge. I thought Aemon was gonna be there. I was surprised how it went the way it went. And then
He's
the
at
other
the
part.
brothel. Remember, that's what they revealed. That's where he was tonight. They revealed that he was at the brothel during that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They should have known. They need better spies.
Yeah, they do. They should just went. Damon could have went there for old time's sake. Saw him again, like you said, naked fight. You know.
Yeah. Maybe that's where he should have went after he paid off the guys. Like, oh, let's go visit the brothel one
He
more
would have
time.
Solved his issue there. Yeah.
Yeah, finish
I
him
thought it was-
by his hands.
Yeah, I thought last week. So sorry, repeat for the returning listeners. I thought Otto was going to get accidentally because Eamon and Otto were together. So I thought, oh, they're going to find Eamon in some scuffle, kill Otto, and that would still. But they ended up killing someone worse than Otto, killing the heir. So that was ended up very, very bad in that situation. So
I was kind of like shocked. Well, like I feel like this show is pretty wild sometimes. Killing a child. I wouldn't write that off, but it's mostly when they like grab him and you just hear like a cutting motion. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
Jesus Christ, this is crazy.
yeah, no, and I didn't think they were going to kill Eamon off last week either. But if they would have, to me, that would have been one of those. Like again, I'm not a fan of the Red Wedding because I think there's certain storylines that could have went on a bit longer. And if Eamon would have got taken out there, I would have felt the same way. Where even
Yeah.
this week, I'm waiting for more because we got a little bit of it of Alicent kind of blaming Eamon for it, which. There's a lot to blame to go around. Like, yes, his dragon did eat one of the Rhaenyra's kids, but he wouldn't have been there if you guys didn't do all this, right? So there's, it's a finger pointing game, but she was mad last week. I feel like she has to be even furious now because she was mad last week just because, like, man, we didn't want to start a war, and you also killed, a former friend, a friend, whatever. They were at least on better terms near the end of season one again coming around. You killed their child, so that was bad enough. But now, in her mind, if she's blaming Eamon, like his choice has led to the death of the heir and her grandson, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
was kind of a little disappointed. I feel like maybe that's why Eamon was at the brothel. Maybe he just didn't want to deal or face his mom yet, because that's all he did. We saw him find some money, and then he was just at that brothel the rest of the episode. So I'm interested to see what happens the next time him and Allison get together, because in season one there's not much of that, but I feel like Allison really just is gonna lose a lot of, I'm not gonna say trust, but just almost just liking of her son. If she puts most of the blame on him, I feel like she's gonna lose like some love there, and I don't think she's gonna turn her back on him. But she's just gonna there's gonna be like this level of disappointment that wasn't there last season.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how Eamon will take that, because last episode he was also talking about how Allison can't be trusted because she's too close to Rhaenyra. So it's like I'm not sure if he is like is he going to be affected by that, or is he going to be like, oh, well, if my mom has to go, she has to go? I don't know. Eamon is kind of, again, like Daemon, where we don't know. We know much more about Damon so far, but I think this season we're going to learn, okay, is he super loyal? But also season one and here, he's alluded to like, oh, well, if I was king, this stuff wouldn't be happening. So I feel like Aemon is kind of similar as Damien, where he sees that crown could have been his, but now he's going to play the role. But if something goes wrong, I don't know, not trustworthy.
Yeah, it was interesting seeing like Eamon's perspective too on like Allison and Otto, where like in last season, especially when they're kids, like they're just so loyal, obviously, like to their mother, because that's just their family, and they're like that's just how it goes. But here we are, they're getting older, and they're just getting more experience with how these games of the throne, pun intended, are being played, and just how sometimes you kind of have to like go against them, like even Aegon, choosing the foot fetish guy to like have him recommended kind of get Otto out of the hand position, and
which I thought he was gonna be. That's another loop where it's good unpredictable. I thought for sure he was gonna be the hand, not Sir Christian Cole.
100%,
yeah. So when that happened, I'm like, oh, those are surprises I like. Where I'm like, let's see how this goes. I think this is gonna go terribly for Cole. I think he's gonna make a lot of bad emotional choices. But yeah,
he already is.
yeah. He tried to just do the Parent Trap trick on fucking Rhaenyra and all of them, and that didn't work out. But yeah, I was shocked that it was, and it almost feels like Aegon just did that, like, and this was like whoever was in the room, because he's like, oh, steel fist. Like, I know he likes Cole's way of working, but it felt very random. But yeah, I did not think it was going to be Cole. I thought the foot fetish guy was the number one candidate. So
yeah, so did I. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say about Alicent. It's interesting because I feel like she's already kind of just mentally breaking. I'm sure that happens with just your loved ones dying around you, but like she's like, the gods are punishing me. Like she's just totally not in a good headspace. She's mentally distraught, and she keeps just using Cole for his body. And like I do think that she is permanently kind of looking at Aemon differently now from the point that oh my god, what was his name? I want to say Lucas. It wasn't Lucas. Who's the guy that died at the end of season one?
Oh,
Rhaenyra's son?
idea. I'll just
starts
say
with an L.
Rhaenyra's second
Was it Luke?
son. Yeah, I think it was Luke. Yeah, I think because even the son was like, I miss Luke. Yeah, you're right. It was.
Okay.
Yeah, but
like from that point on, I feel like although she's making moves that is the best for her house, she still has this like just longing for what the past had with like her relationship with Rhaenyra, and she knows that these moves that are being played are fucked up and evil, and she's feeling the effects. So I think she is going to be like it already seemed like she was wavering a bit, not necessarily the fact that she was going to like be disloyal to her house or anything like that, but she's just like not 100% gung-ho for kind of what's been played, whether it's Otto or Aegon, Aemon, like anyone. It just seems like she's really losing control on her own house, and it's gonna be interesting to see that fall, because I don't know, I don't know if she's gonna be coming out of this like super strong, or like stronger than she's been in the past. Like I just feel like it's a downhill spiral from this point
Yeah.
on for her.
I think she's just burying herself in dick. You know, like that's just like the,
Yeah.
that's gonna be the go-to. She's just gonna ignore everything and just like, man, if Cole can just pound me, like that's great. We'll see, because she at least did say to Otto that she said like Aegon's still like malleable, so she did make, and Otto gave her the pep talk of like, well, if you're still around. So, but I just worry of. I get the only thing too that's interesting is she's gonna be there, and I feel like usually Aegon would shoot her down, but she can influence Cole. So I feel like that's one move she might have, though, is if she can influence Cole with the charm and the betting and stuff, and he's his hand, she might be able to work Aegon that way instead of the direct path, right? Of just trying to go to him
True.
to do this. So I think there's still one path, but it's just a question of, yeah, I feel like with each death and move, worse and worse could happen, right? Because now I feel like Rhaenyra and everybody's gonna have like, at least with the which it was funny, the assassination last week. They catch the bigger guy. He fucking gave it up right away. No struggle, no nothing. It was Daemon Targaryen. He killed me. He paid me to kill this. Like, it was like, oh, okay. I loved the reveal of, oh, you're gonna hurt me? Oh, not me, but I can't speak for my grace. And then the king walked in, and you're like, oh fuck, well, this guy's definitely gonna hurt you. So, and again, I like that the foot guy. I don't even know if it would be public knowledge that the king has done this, but he's just set it up to like, oh yeah, like I got you covered. You're gonna, because he wanted to do that, and Cole and Otto stopped him from going to like punish this guy, right? So I feel like the foot guy is kind of like, if you like meet me here in 6 hours, I got a room, and and that's why I thought he was gonna be the hand, but he's not. Maybe he wants to do something more. I don't know, but
He seems a lot more capable than Kristen.
I not that I like them both as far as like characters, because like I'm all team Rhaenyra, but yeah, if I had to pick between the two, so far, unfortunately, this guy's had a few plans and they usually go well. Like, he took out Rhaenyra's like first love, that's the actual father of the bastards and everything, where Sir Criston Cole's first plan as the hand has gone. I guess what he took out Sir Eric, so like, okay, he took out one soldier, but the problem, what I was trying to get to is, even with this guy saying, "Oh, it's Daemon Targaryen, he paid him," you can't like prove that. And even Otto was saying in that council of like, even if it's not her, we're gonna run with that it's her, right? So like, no matter what, they were gonna pin this on Rhaenyra and go with it. But there would still be a level of, did they do it? Did they not? Did Daemon really want this? Where with this guy, it's his twin brother showing up that publicly like stayed with the queen, like. There's no ifs, ands, or buts that they sent him to kill Rhaenyra, right? The kids, you can
He's wearing the armor of like the Kingsguard.
Yeah, like the kid, there's maybe some wiggle room where the kingdom would be like, well, you don't know that for sure. But this is like the guy that his twin brother showed up to the island out of nowhere and tried to kill her. So that's where it's like, now I feel like, again, now they have to strike back, because they know, okay, they try to send out those ravens, even though everyone told Rhaenyra like, hey, this probably isn't gonna work. Like, no one's really gonna believe you. Now it's like, well, they're not gonna bother the ravens. They'll send ravens to their allies and stuff. But now I just feel like they're gonna be in attack mode. I don't know if it's gonna happen next week, because I feel like there'll be more fallout. But I feel like by mid-season there's gonna be some attacks going on, because now it's been, I don't know what the timeline between the end of season 1 and now is, but still, it's like Rhaenyra's son dies, Aegon's son dies, the twins die, an assassination attempt. Like, that's a lot to go down that short period of, just like the beginnings of war. So
Yeah, no, it's true. I like the moment when Aemond, in his lack of sensibility, decides to just bring down the hammer on all the rat catchers, and just kind of Aegon.
Aemon's the eye patch guy. Aegon, yeah.
God damn. Okay, Aegon brings down the hammer on all the rat catchers.
Oh my
and
God.
It's hilarious because like up until like before that point, it seemed like the whole city is rallying behind him. Like, fuck, Rhaenyra's the evil lady. We gotta take her down.
They did all that work, like Hightower said, right? It was all for nothing now. That whole parade. That's when he had the great comedic shots. Hightower, when he came in, his reactions were gold.
What did Sir Criston Cole do?
Yeah, Sir Criston Cole is playing. He just like, they do that slow panel, and he's just like,
it's like Deadpool when he looks at the camera.
Like, I have fucking idiots here. He killed me this episode. So good. So
multiple times too, when Aegon does something just ridiculous, whether he's doing like the what are they like the audiences where
The petitions.
yeah, the
last
petitions.
episode, yeah. my sire.
He like walks up to the throne. Yeah, don't do that, you
Yeah.
fucking moron.
Oh, and that's why when he walked in, like, even though that's why I appreciated, because you didn't listen last week, I appreciated that last week he was like, give them back their goats, and oh, we'll pay them in advance. Like, I like that he was trying to help people, where Joffrey wasn't that, right? Joffrey was, fuck everybody, I'm just here for
Yeah.
the power. I think Aegon has been of that, but that's where I like that Otto in the beginning of this episode, it felt like Otto was the real king, because he did the parade idea, he did everything. It was like, Otto is the king of King's Landing, not by title, but he is. And
Yeah.
that's why I did like Aegon, because like this is a character that literally last season was like, women were saying, oh, he was like sexually assaulted in brothel, so he's not a good guy. But I like that in his mind, he's trying, he thinks to be a good king. And again,
Yeah.
Hightower has a completely different view of that, and that's what sets him apart, because they could have just made him Joffrey 2.0, and yeah, it's fun, it's like an annoying character, you want to see him die, but in this, it's like at the beginning, then I feel like when you try to see him do good stuff, I feel worse for him losing a child now, instead of just like, well, this guy sucks, so whatever, let's move on. There's like a little, dire there for him, so.
Yeah. I what was I gonna say?
The rat catchers we're talking about. He hung
Yeah,
the rat catchers.
the rat catchers.
He did get one. He got the guilty one at least.
He
It
did
worked.
get the
I
guilty
guess.
one.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we feel the at least to a small extent, like the effect of what a decision like that
Yes.
is having, of just kind of the potential infighting or like public order just going down in King's Landing, because this whole war very much is like a he said she said situation. So
Absolutely.
I think it's a lot more exciting if we have. I mean, we're already getting infighting amongst each side. Daemon and Rhaenyra are at odds end, and then the High Towers are just trying to handle their own children. So
And again, oh wait, you finish. Sorry.
no, you go.
I was gonna say it again, like the twin thing. That's visual proof. Hanging all the rat catchers, visual proof again. It's not like I heard he might have killed the rat. It's just like no.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, and you hung them in the streets for the women and their kids to see. Like again, there's no room for like what happened to the rat catchers. The king is literally like, I fucking killed all of them. He didn't even, because he got so. And again, that's where the king is bad. He got so righteous, he killed
Yeah.
that guy. I doubt they even had a roll call and like, is this the guy, because he said, oh, he couldn't identify him. I think that's bullshit. He like they just fucking killed the other guy, right? So
Yeah.
and that's not like a great idea, because does that mean in the future anytime someone goes bad, it's like if one king's guard does something bad, does all the king's guard go? So I agree with you that I think they will, but yeah, they have to show the effects of that, because that was all Otto's plan. Is this sucks, your son's dead, I grieve, he's my grandson as well, but if we don't do anything, this is for nothing. And they do this whole plan. I was with Emily where I thought the kid's head was going to come off.
So did I. When the wagon was like moving, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god, this poor queen is just gonna have the worst day of her
yeah.
life right here.
Like the only innocent character of the show, just going through
Yeah.
fucking trauma. But especially because they showed the so much bad, but then it kept bumping and they stopped it there, and they just showed again where. And I'm wondering if that's gonna play it too. I thought Allison was finally maybe gonna realize like how much she fucked her kids over too. Like this girl wanted nothing to do with any of this. Like she was born to fucking marry and have kids with her brother, and now to try and look at the good side of that, well, you have kids. Well, guess what? One was beheaded last night. Like, and then you walked in. What was happening while the beheading? The fucking king, like the queen protector's railing your mom. It's just like this character out of everybody. There's a few other characters that are completely innocent, but it's just like I thought maybe with Allison being in the carriage, and maybe they'll come back to it, that was finally gonna realize like, oh, I've just fucked up their entire lives. This
I
wasn't
think
really
she
worth
is having
it.
those
Yeah.
moments though, because like when the start of this episode, she's like really distraught of
She's
just
pacing
what's
around.
going on with her
Yeah.
daughter, and that her daughter had to find her like that, getting railed like she was. What was the other thing I was gonna say?
Talking about Allison, the daughter.
The other thing that I'm hoping, like along with the rat catchers, I hope we get like the result, like we feel the result of what a decision like that is felt down the line. I hope we get some of
The
that. I
rats
hope we
just
also
fucking-
get
It's overflowing
rats
in
fucking everywhere. Yeah.
Where are the rat catchers?
So yeah, I hope we get the effect of what's going on with the rat catchers and the rat population, but I also hope that we feel some sort of ripple effect with like Cole's decision to send like this loyal Kingsguard guy
Oh
on the
yeah.
suicide mission. Like I hope there's some unwariness amongst the Kingsguard guys as well, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that had him in high regards, right? Like respected. It wasn't Sir Eric, the other brother, I forget their names.
Yeah. The
But
twin of Eric. Yeah.
because like in the moment when they're having their standoff between him and Cole, there was like some great tension, and then the like, where were you, Lord Commander? And then all the other guards just like stand up
They're
and
collecting
walk
all their
out.
lunch and shit. Like,
Yeah.
I only got 15 minutes left. I want to finish this biscuit that the handmade or something.
So I hope we feel like some
Yeah.
people looking at Kristen Cole with like some side eye, and like this guy is definitely up to no good. Especially if like now that he's the hand, his decisions
Yes,
are going to be more in the or not in the limelight, in the spotlight.
Yeah. Well, both. Limeware works too. You know, I think they mean the same thing. They mean it's similar. I'd love to look at the differences, and also I feel like again, first plan out of the bat didn't go well. You know, so that's where I'm curious to see what happens. And I feel like it's a combo of plan doesn't go well. That situation with the other Kingsguard that maybe the other guards like, oh, that was kind of shitty. And plus, you imagine the scuttlebutt of him with the former queen's going to come out, and then that's going to be even more so of like, can we trust this guy because he's so within the queen? Like you would think so, but like that's not like. And again, I don't even know what the. I guess he's breaking right because again piece of shit character. He's calling this guy who literally just said it's been a fucking busy 24 hours. What's this mud from? Oh, well, I had to be at the fucking funeral for the kid. Like this guy, Eric's brother, he's putting in the work while the other Kirsten Cole's just like standing at the queen's doorway hoping to get some action. And then he's the guy that's like, oh, you're not fulfilling your oath, and he's like calling his like morality into question when literally anytime he like gets a hard on and uses it, that's like against the white cloak. Like you're not supposed to be having sex.
Yeah.
So that's where I guess for him, because I was trying to think like, oh, she could marry and have a new husband, right? She doesn't have to be, but he's not supposed to be doing any of this. Doesn't matter if he's the hand. So that's where, again, if they learn that, it's like you called that guy's his honor into question. Yeah. And now you're like breaking that, and you were breaking that at the time. So yeah, I think it's going to be a bad fall for Cole. Is he a character you think he's going to die this season?
I think he's going to die.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's going to be this season. Because I don't think it's going to be Eamon. I think Eamon, there's still a lot of juice with that character. Yeah. I think there has to be some big character that, like, I mean, it could be Aegon, I guess, as well. That could be
King.
But, like, he's also not really ever in the... Unless we keep just doing these assassination attempts, every episode just has one.
No war, just assassination attempt till they finally get one. It's like fucking like freeze tag or something. Or Doctor Dodgeball finally gonna get to the doctor. I don't think it'll be Aegon yet. I guess I just don't know how it goes. I don't know. I think they've said they have this plan for 4 seasons. It's tough, and I don't know which side wins and everything. Aemon, I feel like he's fine until he faces off with Daemon, and then I don't know which one, but I feel like when they face off, that's the death of one of them. Like I don't know which one will go, but I think that would be the end of them. And yeah, I guess Cole could go. I really want Cole. I want a scene of Cole, Allison, and Rhaenyra all together. Like I hope that happens before he goes. I don't know if it will, but I would love that to happen because again, he's such a bitch. Like he's doing he's doing exactly what he said in season 1, why he wouldn't like Rhaenyra gave him this proposal of like, yeah, I gotta marry this guy, but we could still be together on the side. He's like, no, I could never do that. And now he's just been doing that with Allison the whole time. So it's like the whole reason he was pissed off at Allison or at Rhaenyra, he's just doing the same things. Like you could have just been Rhaenyra, like fucking 16 years ago. You could have just done this and whatnot. So I will say before we move on, because I'll bring up Empyrean's comment. I love that. I feel like Otto still wants to win the war, and he still wants the High Towers there. But I think this was his first time realizing that they may have made a mistake by doing this, because when he's like, oh, he literally called the king a fool, and then he turned and he's like, oh yeah, and your father, I can't remember the line that set him up, but then Aegon's like, oh, but my father picked me, and Otto just laughs at him. Oh, yeah, you think he picked you. He says some sort of line, I'm paraphrasing. That's where it's like, Man, and again, because maybe he thinks that in his mind they should have done something like kill Aegon too and made Aemon king. Because Otto said that before, that Aemon's like well studied and everything. Like I think he even said in this episode that he would have been a better king. I think he said that to Allison their last conversation, like saying something about Aemon could have been a better leader, and that's where maybe he would have done that. But I feel like now he realizes again. I don't think he wants to give everything up, but putting Aegon in this situation was the wrong move, and this could fuck them, and he's a fool. And I love that he just was going on and on about Viserys, where he still, wanted, I imagine, his kids to go up, but he's still just like, oh, he had dignity and all. Like he's just going giving all these descriptors, and then again, Aegon just got a fool. So I liked that for Otto, almost a little bit admitting that. And Imperium says, I have zero pity for Otto, which I agree, but he was completely right. Aegon is such a fool. What he did to gain people's support, and then you lose it right away by hanging the people in front of the castle. And yeah, it was just felt like and it's even then like that and the twin mission, like Otto said, not even to bring it to the council. They just did it all behind doors to themselves. So like I said, I like Otto, whether it was realizing it should have been Aemon or just in general, this sucks. This could be the death of us all. He had like a moment of clarity, and that happened before he lost his pin too. I actually thought he was just going to give his pin up, but obviously that did not happen. Aegon ordered it to be taken, but then he just said, if you don't have a strong hand, he didn't say the death is all, but something like that. And I do agree. I think he's going to regret the day, and I think he will, because I don't trust Otto. Always very selfish, very I think a little overbearing at times. But again, we're talking about the Foot versus Cole situation. Otto versus Cole. I'm gonna pick Otto every time, because trust me, Cole's not gonna cook up some plans like that funeral or everything like that. Like he's another one that's gonna be very emotional based, and I don't think Aegon needs an emotional based hand right now. But that's what he got. That's what he's gonna have.
Yeah, no, 100%. I really really like just the whole scene with him losing his pin. Otto, I forget the actor's name, but he's just so fantastic in the show.
It's like Rise. It's Rise. Eyes
friend or something like
fans.
that.
Yeah, but he's great.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, he was great in season 1, and he's great here. And I love seeing the doubt that you brought up of like he thought just putting these stupid kids in the position of leadership. It's like whatever, they're pliable. I can run the kingdom, and they'll just go to the brothel house, make kids, and just be the appearance while he's pulling the strings. And now like Aemon he's pissed off. He lost his son. He's making That's not the right word. Drastic. There you go. Decisions. What was the word I was looking for there? It totally eluded me.
I think what is the short
Rash
form of
decisions?
Rash, but yeah. I thought there was a short form
strange.
for drastic decisions, but yeah.
He's making all of them. He's making all the decisions, and not good ones. He is very much a fool, and I'm very curious what Otto's moves are going to be going forward. I'm curious to see him really like going to be. He kind of was behind the scenes pulling the strings, but now he's even more behind the scenes. Now he's like hidden, and I'm very curious as to what his power moves are going to be, because he, as he was saying, he still has the High Tower still have a lot of influence, and I'm curious how much dialogue he's going to be able to have with Alicent if she's still in King's Landing and he's elsewhere. I think he's still in the city, right?
He is, because she said kind of wait, because she almost like implied that, well, he might call you back or he might need you, and that did happen in season 1 where he was the hand, he lost it, and then he came back and was the hand again. So it's not the first time this happened, but I did love when he's still. I don't know if he's in this. I think he's in the country. I don't think he's in the city. I think he's like in the country, because he was like, if I'm not at the council, I gotta get out of here. Like he's like, I can't stand by and watch this all gone. But even then, it's just like he just doesn't all. Alicent needs them, and there's assassinations going on, wars can happen. So maybe you're not on the council, but maybe if you're just around, help. But he was like, nah, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Like, I can't stay here. Like, I just love that. Again, that's almost like, and who knows, it could be a selfish move too, that the second he's not in power, he just wants to bounce. He wants to leave, right? Like, he has no say. And that shows of like, is he actually being truthful and it hurts him to see this go down? Or is it just like he's a sore loser, and because he doesn't have the power he craves so much, he doesn't even want to be there anymore. So I really don't know. And that's the great things about these shows, is the characters are so kind of layered. It could go either way. You could make arguments for or against either of them. So
yeah.
Is there anything to talk about before we get to? We'll save the twin battle in the end. But is there any other characters to talk about before we get there?
Um,
Talk about
you
Cole.
kind
He
of
had
said
his fight.
earlier that Rhaenyra, she like especially last episode, she was kind of non-existent. She was just away, and then here, well, she was non-existent. She was on a soul search, and she was trying to find out what the fuck happened to her son. She found the
Yeah.
wing, and then now she's back in the throne, rallying her troops. But I am excited to see where she is a lot more, maybe past like the mourning period of losing her son, and is ready to just lead her troops into battle. I'm excited to see her kick ass, and I hope she's the one that just slaps the shit out of Cole and just chops his head off. Like, who's gonna be the one that
Yeah.
fucks him up? Is it gonna be Damon? I could definitely see it being him.
It could, because yeah, Arik, that's who I found that there was Eric and Arik. So there you go.
Oh,
Those were
okay,
the
that's the other
twins.
brother.
I was kind of hoping it would have been him if he had survived this. Because I originally, when we get
Mm.
there, I thought he was just going to go there and join them. I didn't think it
Same.
was going to go down.
Yeah.
Went down. So if it's not them, and because I feel like Damon's big showdowns with Aemond, right? So
Yeah.
I feel that's something that could be satisfying is Rhaenyra killing would be good too, but is Rhaenyra's son as well? Because remember
Mm,
last season we got that training scene where he just treated them like shit,
that's
and then
right.
he treated Alicent's kids really good. So I'm not saying Rhaenyra's son could like outwit him, like outmatch him, but maybe there's some situation where he's injured or he got a fucking dragon, right? So
Yeah.
maybe he just eats Cole. The good thing with Cole, there's like a lot of people, or like it could be one of those things where
Just Otto.
well, or the foot guy,
The foot guy, yeah.
because I really, and especially not only is he not the hand. Last week he was like, "Oh, your people told me you're indisposed." Like he's already like, I don't know if he knows it's Sir Cole, but I think the second he finds it's Sir Cole, that's like banging Allison, which clearly that's what the foot guy wants. He wants to be that guy, right? Like I could see him take out. It's like the same way how Joffrey was killed not by any of our big main characters in Game of Thrones, right? It was those like the green ladies or whatever with Natalie Dormer and Herma. Like
Hmm.
it was all the like whatever that type of side family. It wasn't any. It wasn't one of the Starks. It wasn't Arya who was on the list. It wasn't Daenerys. It was just this random family that wanted to take him out. So same thing. My money's on the foot guy. Actually, my money's on the
Yeah.
foot guy. That might make it look like one of our main characters did it, but really foot guy, because like he has all these fucking chambers. And same thing, remember last week too, right, when they talked about the staff, he's like, "Oh, none of the staff. I got you new staff, and none of them breathe air." He did it quietly. He killed them all or got rid of them. Where Cole and Aegon's just fucking hanging people from the streets. So again, he's much more of like a Otto Hightower type of guy. That's like he's working within the shadow. So
True.
my money's on foot guy. That's gonna take out Sir Cole, and that's why people will be pissed because they'll be like, "Oh, like Cole's dead," but like. The fucking weird guy killed them, and now the weird guy's the hand.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's the bad guy gets replaced by another guy, right? And as of right now, he's just a guy that has a crush on Allison's feet. But what happens when this guy gets power? And what shit is he gonna do, right? Like that's
Yeah.
where, like, fuck, who knows? Maybe Aegon's gonna make his mom have to be with this hand guy. I don't know with Game of Thrones. So
He's coming from a foot guy.
or
to
foot
a
guy,
hand
yeah. Well, he
Instead of the hand of the king, he's the foot of the king. That's
they make
that's
him a
his
new
position he
pin.
gets. Yeah.
Like Cole is the hand, but you are the foot. He's just like, this is a fucking insult to me. Like you can call me the foot, but that's my money. I'm gonna say the guy at the foot who does have a character name. I will find it. But I,
I
feel
like
we've
the foot
just-
guy though.
Yeah,
People
the
know
foot
who we're
guy,
talking about.
yeah.
I would be interested to see if Otto does some dealings with the foot guy because he recognizes him as having a person of great influence and power, and what plots they can come up with. And I mean, even Cole and Alicent, like they're starting to be. I mean, they're still shacking up, just hate fucking each other or whatever the hell's going on. But
Yeah.
Alicent seems like it's gonna be pushing towards a moment where this is just too much for her, and Cole's just gonna keep wanting some action. She's just completely done with him, and then maybe that's where she employs Foot Guy to give him the boot and get rid of Kristen. So,
Yeah.
yeah, no. Either way, I don't think he's gonna have a very happy ending, and I can't wait to see it.
Yeah. Can't wait to see it.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah. So I was gonna ask because because I was trying to get confirmation. So we get this plan, the Parent Trap plan. Arik is gonna go pose as Eric. Throughout this episode, we also got Rhaenyra talking to the woman that was almost Damon's wife, and was they kidnapped her. Unfortunately, he made a promise that he would release her after the assassination, but then Damon fucked off before he released her. So when Rhaenyra gives her that news, there's such a look of defeat. Like, she made this deal and like, oh well, he's now gone. Don't know when. Oh, she's like, oh, when will he be back? Could be a day, could be a week, could be here. And like, oh, and she's like, oh yeah, it sounds like Damon. So I really liked, again, this what shows Rhaenyra, I think what they're trying to do is she did not purposely want that kid to get killed, right? She wanted Aemon to get killed, which to me would be fair. Aemon killed her son Luke. That would have been fair. And then here, she's again fairly letting her go. She could have kept her as a prisoner, but she didn't. Her letting her go gave the good karma of her seeing, like, getting that on her side and then seeing Auric and going, okay, something's not right. I'm going to tell her. Because now that lady's stock going to go way up in the future. Because I'm not saying she chose Rhaenyra's side, but she made that Rhaenyra could have been dead, right? She could have wanted that. So I like that they're showing Rhaenyra being I won't say kinder, because it's hard to be kinder in Game of Thrones, but in a sense, more not ruling with an iron fist is going to do some things that will get you allies, and I thought that was a good version of it there. So, and I don't know what they're going to do with that character now, but it's going to be interesting. So
I think she'll be, because you think she's going back to King's Landing?
I think she was, but now I don't know.
I think she is still, but she's going to be like Rhaenyra's eyes and ears or something in the city. I definitely think she's going to have a big part to play in the overall war effort, and I think it's going to be Rhaenyra's side. I don't know. I just think I really like that scene of them interacting with each other, and I just feel like both of them gain some sort of respect for each other in that moment, because they've both been fucked over by Daemon. They both know how that goes. So yeah, and I don't know. I'm curious to see what moves get played there, and she definitely still has some dealings with Otto and the High Towers after they fucked her over, right? Burned her brothel that she had there.
What did you think about the twin fight and the assassin, the double death?
The double death. This was like, you're also surprised by the sequence. I was also surprised myself. I thought he was gonna go over there and definitely join with Rhaenyra, join with his brother.
Sent him to death, pretty much.
And Kristen Cole, I feel like he would have lost all respect for Cole in that moment. But no, they're both equally loyal. I also thought what was gonna happen was, I thought that was gonna be Auric that killed Eric, and then he just portrays Eric, and then we have like a wolf in the sheep pen, just forward, and he would have just played it out, and we wouldn't have.
Yeah, he did go really forward. Day one, he just went for the jugular. But as we saw, though, I guess they didn't want to kill each other, right? But it was a very bold plan. But I guess that's it. They just didn't want to. They didn't want to die. So
wild way to just off himself too. Just like when he points the sword like that, it was like, man, that's gonna be hard to do with the armor and everything. And then he just falls forward on it. Oof.
Yeah.
Quite the visual.
So I had thought until the line happened that Eric had lost, because I swear he got his leg cut. And that's where I was looking online, and I guess I was wrong in that situation. But that last line to me that's why I went to go look, because I was like, well, why would that guy say that? I guess he didn't want to kill his brother, but still, like, why? Like, I just didn't buy. I almost thought he would go kill Rhaenyra first and then kill himself. But they fight, and then Sir Eric does get the better of his brother. Nasty, grabbing to the knee.
The audio too, like that squish noise they made. Ugh.
We love those at GeekVerse, they got some flashbacks there. But then, they get up, and that's why to me when she was like Sir Eric, I was like, I would have felt bad if, like, right before you die, she's like, you still didn't even know it was me, but like they had Rhaenyra know it was him, and then, oh, forgive me, Your Grace, and then done, So, it's lost her. I guess that was Daemon was her hand, right? And that Daemon's, I think, the hand, because I'd have to I rewatched it, but with season 1. He was like what Sir Kristen Cole was to her side of the war, and I think Daemon was her hand. So technically, her hand's gone for her camp, and then now her like number 1 Knight's Guard guy is gone, her protector. So it's not good for Rhaenyra either in 24 hours. Well, it's really just been a shit week, but
Yeah, I mean, she's got the what's his name, the sea serpent guy.
Yeah.
Like he's the that side of the family still loyal, and sounds like they're rallying their troops. We had like might have been the first episode. I double watched these, so they definitely blended together. But um, the little like mini story with
Yeah.
Alan or Alec, whatever his name
I,
is, and his
I doubt it's
brother.
Alan, but
And
Alan.
I thought it was Alan. Okay, maybe not.
Yeah.
I just
You could be right. Maybe because there is like that son's name was Luke. So every once
it's
in a while, there's
spelled
just like a
differently. It's
random
like A
name.
L Y N
Yeah.
or something
H
like
H
that.
H.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just found it weird that we're like getting a lot of emphasis on this particular guy. I'm sure he's gonna have some sort of role to play, but
Yeah, I hope it's just not. Me and Taylor talk about that in The Boys every season. There's like these characters that we just never really care about their storyline, and I really hope the boat people don't become that because there's just been so little of last week, and again, that's why I'm no way saying it sucks now because I want to see it play out. But last week was okay. You saved me. I owe you a debt. And then this week we found the guy's like, hey, did the Valerian guy offer you anything? Like, no, he didn't offer me anything. So it's like, okay, I'm sure he's going to, but it just felt like a weird pickup of like big debt. What was your debt? He didn't give me anything. He just said he owed me. So I'm sure it's gonna happen. But yeah, I guess like he has a brother that makes good stew. Cool.
yeah.
And then I can't remember his main name, but the sea snake or whatever was just like hanging out with his wife, and they were just talking game after they had also smashed. So there wasn't much happening there. So
Yeah.
I'm interested to see why they have it there, and I think I have enough faith with the show that they will pay it off. But I could also be seeing it be one of those at the end of the season, like, oh, that didn't really like go anywhere, or maybe it's one of those where it's a multi-season arc. I don't know. I just don't know what it's going to be because at first I thought they were going to make because his son was gay. I thought there was going to be something striked up there, maybe like some romantic situation, but I
Mm.
don't think that's happening because the he seemed pretty happy with his wife still in the bedroom, so that's not it. So I really don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no read on that situation, which is not a bad thing. I just don't know. I'm not invested in yet because I just, maybe if I tried that guy's stew, maybe I'd be invested. But
Yeah.
it's got carrots,
That's
so.
good. That stew's gonna end the war. They're all gonna
Yeah.
sit down and enjoy
Gonna
some
break
stew.
bread over
Yeah.
stew. They're like, that's twice. I saved your life, and I made the stew for the fucking alliance dinner. What do I get? He's like, I
Fuck
got
off.
nothing for you. Yeah, you can have Sir Christian Cole's armor once we bake him. I don't know. You can put him in the stew. Yeah. Anything else, sir?
I don't think so. I'm excited for next week.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun to be back. House of the Dragon.
Yeah, talking about and watching these because right now I'm in the middle. I'll talk about GeekVerse, but I'm in the middle of watching Dirty Sexy Money. Have you ever seen that show before?
Never heard of it.
No. So it's a show that the second main character is Donald Sutherland, and he just passed away. It's a
Mm.
show that only ran for 2 seasons, got canceled, but one of my favorite shows, like under the top 10 because it didn't go that long. But after that, I don't really want to venture on it, but I've been thinking about rewatching Game of Thrones because every time I watch the show, I'm like, oh, I want to get back, like, because I feel like I rewatched the first few seasons a few times and then I kind of stopped. So this show's been making me like close, like, oh, because I just know it's a long journey. That's like those are
Yeah.
hour-long episodes. I think they went 6 seasons, right? 6 or 7. Yeah, so that's like, oh, I don't want to, but all this stuff about the king hand and everything and the shitty people, it's like, might have to,
Yeah.
especially with that Crave, because after this ends, I'll be canceling Crave. So that's why it's like, oh, is this where I take the plunge now? Because I originally was going to rewatch Sopranos and The Wire, but now it's like I'm in kind of the mood, so we'll see. Kirkland agrees with that.
Thumbs up.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back next week, myself and Mr. Field, to break down. We'll get his thoughts on this episode and see who gets assassinated, who gets hung, whose feet are getting rubbed, are they going to get caught? What an ending of the episode, too. Last frame is just Sir Christian Cole just grabbing Allison's, like, nice place, just a whole grab there. I'm wondering because she said there was a sex scene that was cut that was more like animalistic and stuff. I feel like that must have been it because I feel like the scene cut very early. They're just getting into because it started with her slapping him and everything, which I'm sure Sir Kristen Cole's probably liking and everything. But yeah, we'll be back next week. Let us know wherever you're watching, any theories or anything else you want us to talk about in the future, and I promise you it'll not be boring.
Bye.